Alright, today I decided to show you guys two more Gears of War figures by NECA. And the one on the left here is the Grenadier Beast Rider, and the one on the right here is the Grenadier Lambert. It's an exclusive to SDCC, I believe. So here are the two figures, and the weapons that comes with these two figures. Let me show you guys a little closer look at the weapons. And here we have the Hammerburst. It looks fantastic. Look at the detailing on this Hammerburst. My goodness. I just want to show it off a little bit longer before I move on to the next weapon. Yeah, very good. And the canister is removable, I believe. And then here's the shotgun. Shotgun's not as impressive, but man, that Hammerburst looks fantastic. And here's that canister that could slide out from there. Alright, so let's take a good look at the Beast Rider, Grenadier Beast Rider. Now this one does not have a lot of articulation points, and even if there are most of them are just swivel joints, which I'll show in a second. And here's the back side of the figure. Man, these things are fantastic looking. And next we have the Lambert. I believe is the same bottom half. The only difference is that the torso and the shoulders are made out of this yellow translucent plastic here. Here's the back of him. And if I were to put a light behind it, you could clearly see his body is it's glowing. Really cool, I like that. We rotate it around so you guys can see. And wow, this is very cool. Alright, so since I have this guy in front of me, might as well show the articulation. Head is but a swivel joint only, which is a bit disappointing. It would be nice if it was a ball joint, but back then they were only doing swivel heads. And then shoulders could go up all the way, which is nice. So full range. And then bicep does have a swivel joint, and it has single elbow joint, and it cannot give you 90 degrees. It can give you about that much. Don't want to force it and break it, but the bicep piece does get in the way, so yeah. And then the wrist also swivel joint. Wow, look at that. And torso, there's nothing because they don't want to break this nice design of the torso. And then the waist, it has a ball joint, so it gives you a little bit of movement here and there, not a whole lot. And then as for the hips, they're on swivel joints. Oh my goodness, this one is so stiff. It's been ages since I moved these guys. So yeah, swivels, that's it. And then here with the knees, there is a hinge joint. Let me see if I could bend the knee. Not really, it goes about that. Wow, that's it. That's all it goes. And then nothing around the ankles. So most likely, you're just gonna have him standing, holding onto the weapon with, well, I guess you can have him hold a weapon with both hands. Yeah, he is capable of holding the weapons with both hands. Alright, here I got the Lambert holding on to the shotgun right here. And it is highly recommended that you heat up the hand with the hair dryer first to soften up the plastic before you manipulate those fingers to grab the weapon, because it would be much easier to do it this way than to just force those fingers into those slots, to those holes. because you might end up breaking the weapon itself, because there's yeah, some thin plastic here. The cocking mechanism down here, and then the trigger the trigger itself is also thin plastic. So if you don't want to break those pieces, then I highly suggest you soften up the plastic from the hand before you put the weapons in. But yeah, it's most likely just gonna be like this. He cannot aim at it or anything like that. Can he hip fire? Sometimes with these figures you could kind of get away with doing some other poses. I guess you could kind of do hip firing, like right there. But yeah, so you turn his head like that, you kind of get him to do hip firing. With the shotgun, I mean, it's okay, not the greatest. When you turn, then you notice his head is twisted at a weird angle. But from this, he's okay. Yeah. Then when did this come out? Let me see if I could. Oh, this is also 2009 from NECA. Yeah. So let us take a look at the Beast Rider, the Grenadier Beast Rider now. As far as his articulation, I believe he is exactly the same as the Lambert. Head is on a swivel again, same thing. Shoulders, same thing. Does it have a bicep swivel? Yes, it does. Elbows could give you that much. And then the wrists are also on a swivel. Nothing around the torso. You see, this piece is somewhat free floating. No, not really. They attach it from the back here. And then torso, I mean the waist is not as impressive as the Lambert. And the legs also swivel, and also a hinge, and nothing around the ankles. Alright, so the Grenadier Beast Rider also can't do much as far as holding on to the weapon. And here you can see he can hold it with both hands, but he's not aiming or anything like that. He's just holding. So it's more of a just standing pose to look good. I guess if you want him to shoot, he could shoot with one hand, but with both hands, then he's just going to be standing kind of in a standing getting ready pose instead of a shooting action pose or anything like that. Alright, so for this one, to hold his weapons, I didn't soften up the hand. I softened up the weapon itself, because the trigger finger will not go through the slot properly. So I went ahead and softened up the plastic there, and I was able to shift some of the stuff around and get the finger in there properly. And now he's holding on to the weapon, at least with one hand, properly. So now, as you can see, here's the weapon, and he's holding on to it like he's shooting it. But with the swivel neck, swivel head, it is a little strange. His head is tilted a certain degree, so it's not as good as the articulation is definitely not as good as some of the newer figures nowadays. But still, he looks fantastic, just like this. If you want to pose him, I guess you could either do it this way or just have him have his arms down, just standing, holding on to the weapon. But again, the weapon is just so good looking. Here you go, another look at it. Let me zoom in a little bit more. See if we can get all the weathering on it too. Look at that. It's painted so nicely. And might as well look at the rest of the Grenadier Beast Rider. There's the head, really nice. The harness, shoulder armor, forearm armor, the belt, the crotch, the thigh armor. Rotate him a little bit. So you guys can see the thigh armor, shin guard, and the shoes. So there are pros and cons with just regular swivel joints like the hips. The pros would be they tend to last longer. They won't break as easily, and even if they're stuck, you could easily fix them without breaking them. But with the newer stuff like those ball hinge hips, they do tend to break from time to time, and with these, I don't think it will break in many years to come. Some of the joints are okay. I mean, I would be a little worried about the elbow joints. Just be mindful when you're moving these figures. If you think it's stuck or something, use a hair dryer, soften up the plastic a little bit, and maybe move it that way, because it will move. For the most part, yeah, all the joints are working fine for me. And again, these figures are from 2009, and I had them not on display, but in a container for a while, and then dug them up, and then now I decide to show them off again because they do look fantastic. Like some of these newer stuff, they don't even get painted that well. Like, look at this guy. Look at the teeth and everything, the shading, the weathering, the muscle, and then the shading on the abdomen. Look at that. And yeah, just overall, they look fantastic. Especially this weapon, man. This Hammerburst looks fantastic. Shotgun, not so much. It's just a regular shotgun. It's not, it can't compare to the Hammerburst. The figure itself is just your regular locust, but still really good looking figures all around. Okay, so I'm looking at eBay right now to see how much these things are going for, and one of the Grenadier, the Beast Rider, which I have right here, this one is brand new, sealed. It's going for 125 right now. It's 14 bits and 2 hours left. So wow, that's kind of cool. Good to know. Don't plan on selling it, but it is good to know that these things are retaining its value. Some of the more generic ones aren't as impressive as some of these more obscure ones, like the generic the ones with the sniper rifles, the 4-packs, those regular drones. Those I think you get them for about between $20 to $40 each, but with these different ones, and there's also that flamethrower one. That one's cool. I think I have that one still sealed too, and that one I don't know how much that one would cost, but so this guy, if it's sealed brand new, it's currently worth 125. Here's one when it's open, used, it's about $52. So yeah, still good. I mean, still above your what I pay for. I believe I paid either between $15 or $20 when it first came out for these guys. These were mostly at Toys R Us back then. That's the place I usually go to find these guys, because you're not gonna be able to find these at Target or Walmart or anything like that. Yeah, back then I believe Toys R Us is pretty much the place to go for these things. So yeah, so there's the Grenadier Beast Rider and Grenadier Lambert from NECA, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will have more of these revisit Gears of War figures video coming up. Thanks for watching.